Today we're going to talk about how you can sell simple AI services to local business owners. I met with Bryce a couple weeks ago, and sometimes you can just tell they've got the it factor. After talking to hundreds of entrepreneurs, he's one of those guys that's just got it. So we had over 70 people show up live to the webinar, and they loved it. You'll see at the end people are raving about it. But we'll go into depth on how to start making this offer to local business owners and how this perfectly fits into the review activation and reputation management model if you're wanting to offer other services. At the end, you'll see somebody rave about how reviews just works, and everybody asks, what else can you do? And this is a great thing that you can add to start getting more money per customer and stacking that recurring revenue. Hope you enjoy.
Bryce and I talked 2 weeks ago probably, and immediately, sometimes you talk to people and you're like, oh, sometimes you talk to people, yeah, that was good or whatever, but sometimes you talk to people and you're like, man, that guy was the real deal. Bryce and I hopped on a call, and then he proceeded to spend 30 minutes just helping me out with my business. And I was like, oh, wow, I love this guy. You know what? This guy's awesome. So I'm really excited for what he's got in store. I mean, I've heard, CloseBot has people rave about CloseBot. He's built something awesome. Version 2 looks incredible. And so I'm excited to have him on. Almost got 50 people in here already. So yeah, I'm
That's
excited to have him
awesome.
on. And this recording will be posted. But I actually probably shouldn't have said that because I need all y'all to stay on here. But we will make sure this recording gets posted. So yeah, Bryce, is there anything else you want me to say, or you want to take it away from here?
I think you did a great job. Yeah, we had a lot of fun on our call. It's
Yeah,
cool to chat with other entrepreneurs building software because like, we get each other. There are some
that's
things you
right.
go through building software, even being a white label provider of software. Um, we all kind of are experiencing similar things. So it's cool to be in a room with like-minded people.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, let me share my presentation. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you a co-host.
Okay. You should see it now, right?
I gotcha. I got it.
Cool. First of all, I want to know my audience. So we're going to be a little interactive right away. Put a 1 in the chat if you have heard of CloseBot or using CloseBot in any way. Just want to see. Cool. I even see a couple familiar names, so I'd love to see family members in here. I love it. Okay, and then we probably have a lot of people that have no idea about CloseBot, which is cool too. I'm here for it. Now, second interactive. Put a 2 in the chat if you would call yourself a prompt expert. Okay, we have a 2. We have a 1.5. Cool. Okay. Well, I just like to feel it out.
Zero. Zero. Zero is
So
me. I'm probably zero too.
no problem. That just helps me kind of craft things to you guys. Uh, First of all, I like to stay in touch with everyone. So if you want to follow any of my posts that I put out, I do research at CloseBot as well into prompting best practices in AI. Follow me on LinkedIn. I have my QR code here. I'll show it again at the end. So use your phone, scan that, and that'll pull up in my LinkedIn. That's where I share all my thoughts.
Sweet.
Okay. Let's go for it. So in this talk, we're going to learn how to do AI lead qualification. We're going to learn how CloseBot is different, and we're going to give you a free DBR CloseBot agent download. So the focus of this is DBR because we found that is such low-hanging fruit for getting new clients and charging a lot of money. Okay. So first of all, if you are seeing other agencies out there selling AI, AI lead qualification, AI booking agents. Sorry, I see a question. What is DBR? I should have specified. That's database reactivation, taking dead old leads and then selling to those. Yes. If you see other agencies selling AI, they're either using the built-in GHL AI, the AI employee, they're using CloseBot, or they're using something else. This isn't something people build themselves anymore with tools like Zapier, Make, N8N. It's just too hard to get those to be reliable at scale. Cool for demos? Absolutely. But at scale, not really. Gym Launch is one of our clients, as well as we have thousands of other agencies using us. So let's go through step by step how to do this. Step one is going to be that CloseBot step. But if you're not using CloseBot, say you're using a different platform, like GoHighLevel's built in, this would still apply. You just replace the step one with whatever provider you're using. Obviously, I'm partial toward CloseBot. We're the #1 installed app in the sub-account marketplace for a reason. So I'm going to show with CloseBot. Step two is going to be sending an initial message. Whether you are set up with GoHighLevel AI employee or with CloseBot, you need to send that first message. So we're going to show how to set that up too. And then step three is where you make your money. Okay, so before I go into showing this working, I want to show you the CloseBot interface. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to set things up. Actually, I'm going to pull open this video showing 48-second setup. Okay, so this shows from registration to an agent that responds, 48-second timer on getting started. Let's skip the sign up process because that's boring. Once you drop into your account, you go to sources. You're going to click to connect to your GoHighLevel. And as long as you're already signed in, you just click on the sub account you want to connect to. From there, it's connected. And then you just have to connect it to the job you want. So here I go into the job. I'll show you what a job is, and you click connect.
Easy
Very
peasy.
simple to set up. Exactly.
Easy.
We want to remove as much friction as possible. So let's go back and see what it looks like when this is actually doing its job, qualifying leads. Okay, I recorded a video of it instead of doing it live just so I can talk to you guys while we're doing it. I can pull it open live too and show you it operating live, but let's run through this. So I talked about how we have a job flow. That's this thing down here. That's like the job that needs to be done. Imagine you hired an employee and you give them a script on how you want them to qualify leads. That script is the job. The employee is the persona. So there are two pieces to getting an agent to work. Over here, I have the chat widget open from GoHighLevel. That'll probably look familiar. This can work on any of GoHighLevel's communication channels, email, SMS, WhatsApp. Here we're running it through the live chat just because it's the easiest way to show a demo. So I don't have to go do the A2P stuff. But here we're faking as if we're doing a database reactivation with CloseBot, just done through the chat widget. We'll go in the second step, how to set up sending that initial message. But here we have a fake initial message sitting there. Hey, are you still interested in getting that roof done this summer? We said, yeah, I'm interested. We see the agent is responding. This is real time. I didn't speed it up at all. Then we have it asking for first name and email. Notice it's asking for both of them together. Okay. And I'm giving it both. Now it's going to go into our job flow, and we'll see what this looks like. So you see that start up there? Anytime a conversation starts, it's going to start at the start. And we saw that its first job was see if they were interested in our offer. Then we had a branch. If it detects they're interested, we're going to follow and do this side. If it detects they're not interested, we're going to go down and do this stuff. So we detected they're interested. And so you saw not only is it getting now first name and email, but it also added that tag interested. I had that in the flow. If it detects they're interested, it's going to be adding that tag. Let me go back to this. So here, see, getting the first name and email, getting the first name and email. Next, booking an appointment, booking an appointment. And now here, if I respond with a time that works, it would book that appointment to my high-level calendar. Now, if I said, hey, none of those times work, what about tomorrow? It automatically it'll search based on what you're saying and try to serve up times on your calendar that actually work. This can even do conversational canceling and rescheduling. So some of you guys might be seeing this flow and being like, I don't know, seems a lot like we're supposed to be just giving it instruction, right? And then it can just do all this stuff. Some systems have had just a big prompt area where you can go and dump your big prompt and then it's supposed to just work. And that's kind of going back to those kind of things tend to work okay for a demo. But if you want something that works at scale, we need guardrails for these agents. And these drag and drop components act as guardrails to keep it very much aligned with our goal, but still sounding human. Here you notice it sent 2 messages instead of 1. These are the little things that CloseBot tries to implement to make it seem more human. It's not only always going to send a big text toward the person. Sometimes it'll break them up for you. Okay, and we see that it's updating fields too. So if I go in here, refresh the screen in high level, we'll see that it's pulling in, the email, first and last name, all that stuff. Now that's all well and good, but sometimes we have situations where maybe a person comes in and they just want to book an appointment right away. They don't want to go through the whole qualification nonsense. We have these things called scenarios. We have an aggression detected one, custom, not interested, or wants to book an appointment. If it ever detects that one of these custom things is happening, you can jump to any point in the flow or a totally detached different flow. So here, I'll attach this one back to where it should be. So in this case, if their first response is just, oh yeah, I want to book an appointment. Maybe they want to skip this first objective. It would jump down here. Or if aggression is detected, if we want to tag them as aggressive and stop responding, we could do that too, which happens sometimes on a database reactivation. These are old leads. They're not expecting to hear from you. And you say, hey, is this Clay? Are you still interested in getting your roof done? And they say, hey, screw off, buddy. You don't want the AI to be responding in that case. Tag them as aggressive and move on. And again, you guys are going to get this template via a link. When you click it, it'll drop it into your CloseBot account. You can sign up for a free account and you'll be able to drop this into that account. And then we have variables set up in here. All you'll have to do is fill out the variables, kind of like custom values. And that fills in areas of this. So it's already ready to go for you. Okay, let's go into set up a workflow for that first message and look at how that works, because CloseBot doesn't handle that first message. I was granted with a Review Harvest account. Thank you very much. I am going to
I
share
got you.
the Harvest account. Yes, we are on brand.
Guys, if I had $1 for every time that I had manually booked an appointment in high level, I would have, at least $743 or something like that. So that takes a couple minutes every time. So there you go. There's a couple hours you just save every week
Yeah,
booking calls manually. They don't make it really easy.
exactly. Yeah, I know. It's it's the most painful thing. Manually checking availability with someone and then booking a call.
Hmm.
Absolutely awful. Oh, let me go back. I'm going to create one from scratch. And let's call this database reactivation. So I'm not going to add a trigger to this. And then we would want send SMS. We want to use variables where possible. There are a couple reasons for that. Okay, so you want to be very purposeful with this first message. If you guys have sent a database reactivation campaign before, you want to incite a little bit of curiosity. I'm not being very verbose. I'm not being very wordy explaining everything about this offer. Doing that on purpose because I want them to respond. I want them to ask questions. I'm not using certain words like interested. You see I typed out interested. I remembered in backspace. There are certain words that if it sounds like you're giving an offer and you're sending these in high volume, you're going to get flagged by the carriers. So there are a few things you can do to reduce your chances of getting flagged. One of them is make sure it doesn't sound spammy. Don't use the word interested. Don't use cash, offer, those kind of things. And you can find a list of some of these words online. But also, if you're sending the exact same message each time, that's another way to get flagged. So wherever possible, you want to use variables. An easy one is the name. Any variance in the message is going to help you out. And the more, the better. If you have variables to inject, go ahead and do that. Get out of my way. Get started. There we go. Okay, can save it there. Perfect. So we
Yeah, if
have
you
this
want to
first
click on
message.
it and you can dismiss that checklist at the bottom. The dismiss at the very bottom. There you go.
I love having a checklist. We have one too. Yes. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create a wait. It's very rare that someone will respond on the first go. So maybe we want to wait one day. And then send another message. Okay, again, using your intuition. I'm a little bit out of practice on this. I used to do a bunch of real estate outreach. So I know the principles behind this, but Twilio, the providers are always changing what best practices are around database reactivation. If you need any ideas, ChatGPT, a great friend. Go to ChatGPT and say you're doing a database reactivation. You need to be able to send messages and not get flagged by the carriers. Come up with some templates of things I can send via text message. So So here's the second one. Publish, save. Again, there's no trigger. And then I want a second workflow. When a contact has replied, we're going to remove from workflow, another workflow, database reactivation. Because when they reply, that's when the bot's going to kick in, whether that's GoHighLevel, whether that's CloseBot, something else. You don't want that second follow-up message to go out because then that's a dead giveaway. Like, oh, this is just an automated system. Ghosted. You've lost the deal. So those two workflows are what you'll want. The first one handles the drip, trying to get that initial reply, and the second one shuts off that drip if they send any message in. So let's name this stop drip. So from here, to get this started, we would go to our list of contacts. I suggest, here, we'll do this. We'll go back to our database reactivation, and I'm going to add a tag. We need some way to track who we've sent through this database reactivation. I'll just tag them right now as here, DBR. Cool. So we know everyone who has that tag is already started through this drip system. And then we can go to all of our contacts, and we'd want to filter by people who don't have the tag DBR. I have 3 of them. You would want to select all of those. And add them to that database reactivation workflow in drip mode. Very important. Don't mess up and don't mess up and click the non-drip mode one. If you send them in bulk, you've ruined your phone number. You don't want to do that. So double check, make sure send in drip mode. And you want to start out so slow, probably one every 15 minutes, maybe. You can get as fast as 1 a minute, I would say is the fastest I would feel comfortable going. But it depends on a lot of factors. So start at 1 every 15 minutes, then you'll have your reactivation campaign going, you'll have your AI responding, and you'll be reviving these dead leads that these businesses were going to do nothing with in the first place before you came in to save the day. Okay, let's go back to my slides. Let me stop here real quick. So we've went through step number 1 and step number 2. Do we have any questions?
Hayden, did you have your hand up? I think you had your hand up for a second.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask earlier when you were talking about like what you would consider to be high volume in terms of SMS sending. Maybe that's, frequency or daily or whatever you're thinking.
Um, high volume, I'd say is I think 1 every 10 seconds would be like really high. If you had like a high trust score phone number, you've been using that phone number for a long time and getting a lot of back and forth messages to improve the trust score of that number. When you first buy a phone number, it starts out with a trust score. We don't really know what it is. Someone probably had that phone number before you. So there's always a chance that someone else used the phone number, they ruined its quality, and now you're getting it secondhand and it's ruined. So we don't know the starting point. But the more you have back and forth phone conversations with that phone number, the higher that trust score goes. So something else I've seen is people having 2 sub accounts and connecting an AI to each one and having the phone numbers communicate via AI with one another over
Hmm.
time to improve the trust score of that phone number.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions in here?
Ollie asked, is that per number or per A2P brand campaign? I think you're talking about per number right now, right? Or talking about,
I'm going to say
or
yes to per number, but um, I haven't done this in practice myself for sales
in a
in a
while.
while,
Yeah, yeah.
so that could have been changed. So I would
Yeah,
check.
we're all very familiar with the whole A2P struggle. So
There are other apps out there that allow you to use a virtual SIM. My CRM SIM is a common one. There are some other options, and that is a way around A2P, and you'll still be limited by the volume you can send. It'll be about the same, but at least that gets you around A2P if that's something you need. Yeah, CloseBot does work with my CRM SIM. I just did a webinar with the owner of my CRM SIM where we use the iMessage capabilities of my CRM SIM with CloseBot too. So it works with standard and the iMessage.
awesome. Awesome.
All right. Let me see if I can find my presentation again.
Angel said, can CloseBot be used with Facebook leads? Y'all work with Messenger, don't y'all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, WhatsApp, um,
Anything that can connect to
email.
your sub account, pretty much, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this step 3. We love step 1 and 2. We love building. Me too. That's why I ended up with CloseBot. It worked out for me. Doesn't work out for most people. Most of the time, the answer is more sales. And that's where I am now too. Like for me, I don't need to be building more tools. I need to be focusing on sales. And like shameless plug, that's why I'm here with you guys. Like, yes, I want to spread the word and help people out, but ultimately it comes down to I'm here to make more sales and you guys should be spending more time selling too.
100%, 100%. Everybody knows who they are, and I was the same way. So where you're 4 weeks in and you're trying to automate your onboarding process, but you don't have a customer yet, and so
Yeah.
it's work on some sales stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go into the CloseBot stuff, how it works, but like I know that's what you want to see, but I'm gonna skip that real quick. Let's talk about sales. Let's talk about how you structure this to people. All you guys have to do for database reactivation is start calling through local businesses or visit them and make it a no-brainer offer. Like, hey, just wondering if you guys have any leads that said they're interested and now like you don't have any way to contact them or make money from them. Everyone's going to say yes. Um, Us included. Like we probably need to do a database reactivation campaign at CloseBot, but I don't have time or energy to do it, you know? So go to those businesses and ask that simple question. And then ask them if it would be crazy if you spent some of your time to reactivate those and make the business some money. If that would be crazy for you to do that. Would that be off the table at all? And they're going to be like, no, what's the catch? And that's where you can come in and say, hey, I know this is going to work and I want to show you it's going to work. What's a sale worth to you in like profit? And if it's a roofer, like these are $15,000 roof jobs, it might be like a 7,000 profit deal. Be like, hey, I'll split the profit on the first 3 I get with you. And from there we can talk about a month to month commitment for me to reactivate your database. But at least then you know you're only paying when you get deals. You're making profit on those first ones I get you that you weren't going to get anyway. And then we both win because I can do this for you long term. You're going to have very few people that say no. Has anyone on this call done that before?
I used to do it. I've done it. Some database reactivation campaigns.
Heck
And
yeah.
once you do the database reactivation, then you can say, all right, we went through your lead list. Let me get you some more leads, and we'll do this again we'll do this thing again in a month or two.
Yes, exactly. That's where, with Review Harvest, with these other offerings that you guys have with your CRM, you just proved yourself and you made them money. And they're like, hey, what else can you do to make me more money?
For
This
sure.
is an easy foot in the door thing.
For sure. And I just reactivated the review harvest list of old leads. We had like 3,000 old leads in there. And I was reactivating them to our community where we educate them or whatever. I didn't know how well it was going to go or what it was going to look like. But we went out of those 3,000 leads that we had, we've got 280 people that have already signed up and joined the community. And we've reactivated those people. So it's like, it's a no-brainer for all businesses. Most people just, as long as they've got a lead list, it's just about orchestrating and putting the pieces together.
Yeah. Oh, that's sick. Good. Anyone else stories about reactivation or pushback on reactivation? Anyone like, no, I don't need 10,000 more dollars, which is fine. Maybe you don't, but maybe you think about how you do what I just said at scale. Maybe you're thinking about how you can scale bringing on reactivation clients. Any thoughts in the chat? I'm going to go ahead and pull open the CloseBot screen while you guys are doing that, and
Yeah.
we can show
Uh,
some more technical stuff.
Paris said, how do you address sensitivity issues with their client list and how big does the lead list need to be?
What do you mean by sensitivity? Like,
I think he's meaning like they don't want to share all their lead data. They don't want to share all their contact information, which we run into that same thing with Review Harvest occasionally. Um,
If I can just say, like one of those on the sales call today, somebody said that they were concerned with how we would approach them because they don't want somebody who's going to spam their list or not represent them properly.
yeah, that's a valid concern for a business owner. What would you say to that, Clay?
Yeah, I mean, when I run into those people, I would say probably about 10% of the people we talk to really care about that, maybe a little bit less. And what we say when we're getting them reviews or whatever is, hey, we're reaching out on your behalf, requesting a review. And we kind of tell them it's a push-pull thing, like these people are already dead in the water. Like you're not getting any money from them at all, right? And so the people that you piss off or the people that are maybe a little bit upset that they got a text message, oh my gosh, what an inconvenience, right? People that are upset, they were never going to work with you anyways, right? And so, are you in the business of making friends? If you want to make 3,000 friends, then maybe you should invite them all to lunch and pay for their lunch. But if you want to make money, it's going to help them make money. And
Clay, I'm going to
sensitivity
use that in the
wise,
future. That was
yeah, no,
gold.
sensitivity wise, it's just like, hey, listen, it's not in our best interest to do anything nefarious with these leads, right? Like if we do something wrong, like one, I'm not going to go start my own roofing company and use all these, right? I'm not doing that. And two, just have it in your terms and conditions and your privacy policy and stuff that you take care of your customers' data. Because it is important and people do care about that. But I will say, I that kept me from doing review stuff and database reactivation stuff for a long time. And it's one of those things. 90% of people, probably more, don't think a thing about it. I mean, somebody sent me an 8,000 person client list today. And so and they didn't bat an eye. And so it's one of those things that you'll run into, especially if you're brand new. If you're brand new and like you don't have a business or anything, you'll probably pop up more frequently because like, is this a legit business? Like, what's the deal? But the longer you do it, you'll find that there's not that many people care. And once you kind of get more entrenched and you get more solidified branding and case studies and reviews and stuff
Yeah,
like that, you don't have to worry about it.
I think that's big. Case studies and reviews. I think putting myself in their shoes, I would immediately do research. Like, okay, who is this guy? Let me check out the business. If I see 5-star reviews, okay, fine. Yeah, here's the lead list. So that's really good. Case studies, another example. Take those people who leave reviews for you, reach out to them, thank them for the review, be like, hey, it would be amazing for our business. First of all, thank you for the review. If I could just get you on a 5-minute call just to talk about your experience with us and then have that video and do a little write-up, helps your SEO, and you have that video testimonial and together a blog that you can share with people too. So then you route them to your Google My Business page with 5-star reviews, send them a couple case studies that are videos with real people, and won't have any issues. Yeah, gold. Okay, so here's what CloseBot looks like. On the dashboard, we can see some helpful things like responses over time, how many meetings you're booking. But we'll go into agents. I talked a little bit about how we have personas and we have jobs. So here's that job you guys are going to be getting today, database reactivation. And the persona that I had doing the job is Sam. If I go and edit this persona, I'm going to call out a couple of things. There are some things that make CloseBot really unique. We have some fields that you can fill in, like clarifying instructions on how to respond. We pre-fill this for you with a default, but you can edit it as you want. You can change how often the AI makes typos where it'll make a mistake in the message and then immediately send like the asterisk and then the corrected word. Just makes it seem more human, and breaking up large messages. But what's super unique here is that we support OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, Grok, and DeepSeek. I have all of them selected here so that if OpenAI goes down for Clay, it falls back to Anthropic. If that fails, falls back to Gemini. If that fails, so we have a fallback cadence if things happen, but you can also select what you want to be your preferred ones. So you can change these around. Most other platforms are going to be using one. So if that one goes down, so do you. And that's a good way to ruin trust with your clients. Then the real fun is in this flow builder. Let's explain a little bit more in depth about how this works, because you guys are going to get access to this and you'll probably want to make edits to it. So I have this set up so when a conversation starts, we have an objective. First of all, an objective is anytime we want to determine information. The AI is going to ask questions to try to determine something. That's an objective. That is a key piece to how this works. You can map it to a custom field or a standard field on the contact that it'll update when it's done. I didn't have a field for this, so I didn't put anything. But if I had like a interested in offer radio button field, yes or no, that'd be a good one to map to. And then just determine whether or not they're interested in the offer. We have this branch that then looks at the conversation. We're using AI to make a decision here. And if this person seems interested in the offer, proceed on this route. If not, go this route. Adding the tag interested. Here we have two objectives in the same action, get name and email. And if you think back, you'll notice the AI asked in one message, can I get your name and email? It doesn't always do that, but this gives it the ability to, however it wants, collect all those pieces of information. And then appointment booking. Now here's where I set this up to be used by anyone who has this template. You can select a calendar from the dropdown or select other and use a calendar ID. So I had mentioned this when I was going through this. I set up our equivalent of custom values for you guys here in settings, job flow variables. I have a calendar ID variable that I set up in here. And I'll show you when you connect your source where you can go input all this stuff. But it's all set up for you and it's using that calendar ID. So you would get that from your, you go into review harvest and you go to your calendars. That calendar ID is right here. You can click to copy. And then we have it set up so that at any time, if the person says, hey, I'm actually not interested, sorry, or screw off, or not right now, thanks, it's going to hop down here where we tag them as not interested. Then we use one of our other actions. So we had objectives, which gathers information. Statement gives information. We use AI to some way say no problem and goodbye. And then if they were previously interested, so if they were already tagged as interested and then they came down here as not interested, we're going to see why they changed their mind. Otherwise, just stop responding. So that's a little tour of this toy you guys are getting. Let me go into sources. Here we see I'm connected to my CloseBot demo source. That's this. See, CloseBot demo. And if I want to change any of those variables, I can edit connected variables. And here's where I put in, I set up original offer details that you can put in about the business, meeting location, and calendar ID. So if you guys just want to copy this into your account and get started, all you have to do is connect to your source and set up these variables, and it's good to go. Last thing I'll show you, you probably don't want it responding to all of your channels for you or your contacts. This doesn't take workflows to get CloseBot to work. But something you can do is go into edit the job flow settings. And then I can pick which channels and tags I want this to reply to. So maybe I only want it replying on SMS. If they don't have this tag AI off, and maybe they have to also have the tag DBR. So they can't have the tag AI off, and they have to have the tag DBR, and the channel has to be SMS. Okay, questions on this stuff?
Sure, guys, y'all can paste them in the chat or feel free to raise your hand like we normally do. Either one works. We'll get to it. Also, Bryce, one thing I think when I was setting up CloseBot a while ago. So, for example, if you already have, you set that objective to get the first name and the email or first name and the phone number, whatever. If you already have that in the contact info, it just kind of skips over that, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Yeah, let me show that. Yeah, likely if you're running a DBR, you already have their phone number. So we wouldn't want it to ask for that when it gets to here. You probably already have their name. The default setting is to skip it if it's not blank.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some advanced settings and some defaults in there. But yeah, that's one of the things. If you already have that stuff, it'll skip it. So if you had name and email, if they said they were interested right away, it jumps straight to booking.
There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got pricing questions in the chat. I'm sure we'll get to, but let's go ahead and get to Nick. He's got his hand raised. What you got, Nick?
What's going on? So, quick question. What kind of companies do you have that use CloseBot for lead generation for like running Facebook ads? So a lot of the clients I work with, we run ads for local businesses. What have you seen there work best, and what kind of things do you have there to talk about? Just curious to see your go there.
Yeah. It's tough because I don't get any insight into their ads.
Really? You don't talk to any of them?
I don't know what ads they're running. People are pretty secretive
Yeah, they are. They are.
about that.
I'm pretty secretive about that. But someone that knows what they're talking about, or does something like this, I usually like to talk to, kind of go back and forth on. Like the company that owns Search Atlas, that's a big company as well. I
Yep.
was talking to the owner the other day, and
Manic.
he's pretty open. So, and
Yeah, Manic, he's a cool guy.
yeah, super cool guy. He was out here in Miami the other day. Did you go to the event?
No, I'll be at the next one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some pricing questions in the chat. Free trial, talking kind of asking about an explanation on the pricing with the usage
Yeah,
versus stuff like that. If you want to dive into that.
yeah, let me do that. So we have a free account. So you saw those drag and drop things. On the free account, you can use 6 of those, 5 or 6 in a flow. So this one that we drop in for you, it'll show up as locked. Um, to to use it, you'll have to pick a paid account, but we also have a 21-day free trial on all the paid accounts. So if you want to get started, get in there and use all the paid features on any of our paid plans, you'll get 21 days free, all features unlocked to try it out. For the agency plan, that's $397 a month. And on that agency plan, you'll be able to set up clients within your account and rebill usage to your clients. We have a small charge per message to the agency that you can rebill to your clients. Also, we didn't cover this, but we have a knowledge library. You can upload items for your clients or they can make uploads themselves. That costs you a base small amount, but you can also rebill that to your clients. And then user seats, same thing. A client takes a seat. That costs you money, but you rebill that. So if you want to charge them $99 a month to be in here and see their dashboard, see the conversations, upload their own knowledge base, that would be $94 a month profit for you. Business plan, if we have any just sole businesses in here, that's a little bit different. You drag to select your usage, and then there's no extra cost per usage on top of this. So this really cements it in stone as your monthly cost. Need more clarity? I'm just looking at the chat. Need more clarity on how the overall cost works apart from fixed charges. Okay, so I'm going to assume agency, right? So we'll go with the agency. On the agency, we'll just run through a scenario. Let's say you did 5,000 messages. Actually, let me go to my leaderboard and let's assume you were one of our leaders. So that's another thing. Like this is actually working. Like for bookings, this guy so far this month has booked 1,656 appointments.
Sheesh. Halfway to the month.
It's crazy. But let's go with our top of the leaderboard. This guy, 20,000 messages. So that's an extra $120 in usage from CloseBot's compute. Now on top of that, you're putting in your API key stuff for either Anthropic, DeepSeek, Gemini, and it depends on what you select. DeepSeek's pretty much free. But if you're selecting something else like OpenAI, that's going to cost you probably another $120 to $150. But if you're doing that kind of volume, you can probably afford another $300 in usage. And the reason why we did that was because we want to keep the base cost as cheap as possible to make it as accessible as possible. And then you really only pay when you're using it.
Mm-hmm.
No difference in capabilities in the bots between business and agency plans. They're the same. And really people see the free business and agency. They see the agency as like the top tier. Not the case. If you're a business, you should choose business because we build out specific features for the dashboard, analytics, and other UI UX stuff for businesses if you select that. Otherwise, if you're an agency, same thing. We're building out specific agency type stuff for that plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Clay, thanks for dropping that link for the agent. Clay just dropped the link to the agent in the chat. So make sure copy that. If you don't have a CloseBot plan already, it'll just drop you to the sign up page. And again, everyone drops in a free account. You don't have to put in your card to get an account made. And that free account doesn't expire either.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Ollie said, what happens if the AI can't handle something? So they ask a question that doesn't have information for.
Yeah, good question. Let's go here. So maybe I want a custom scenario. You don't know how to answer their questions, or they specifically want to speak to a human. We'll call this human handoff. And then maybe we want to add the tag human handoff. And then stop responding. I could do it like this or add a new one. You're kind of free to organize these how you want. So that's something I could do.
Awesome. So those scenarios don't have to be attached. They're just kind of waiting for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. That's nice.
I'm just going to put it back. Yeah, what else?
Raise your hands. You got a question, guys?
So one person said they signed up for CloseBot 3 days ago. When they click the link, it takes them to the dashboard, but doesn't activate or give me the bot. It should take you to a screen that says the job flow and the agent. I'm talking to Javier. Let's see if anyone else has that problem.
Yeah.
Javier, if that's the case for you, take that link and go into support and send them the link.
Okay. Sounds good.
And so Angel, did you also have an account already? Yes. Okay. This may be a thing. It may be a thing if they already have an account. It's going to link them to you, Clay.
Yeah.
But
Solid.
yeah, please, because you guys want this agent. I spent good time with Clay building this. So I want you to have this. Send it to support. They'll get it dropped in for you. And they'll get that fixed.
Yeah, we
Let's
can
see.
figure it out. We'll figure that out. Kelsey, what you got?
So I'm kind of in and out. I'm sorry if my environment's a little loud, but I just want to make sure I'm understanding what this platform does. So I initially was going to use it for outreach for my company. But I also find that when I do my social media business, because I'm doing the reputation management, to how to integrate this into my clients that I'm going to be serving in the future. So basically this software will help us find the customers, identify if they're a great lead, and then qualify them to get them on a call with us so that it's not a wasted time essentially.
Yeah, right. Qualify
Sure.
and book.
Okay,
For
so if
sure.
I were to use this for my review business, I can kind of create, like you said, a persona or something to say who I'm looking for, and it can help me find those leads, or what I
It's
need
not
to.
going to find those leads.
Okay,
You
gotcha.
have to run the ads and drive the traffic to it. But then, like if you're installing this for clients that are trying to get reviews, you
Yeah.
might do some outreach through a DBR or inbound people to see first, did the person have a good experience? And if they did, route them to book. If they didn't, you don't want to route them to book, but maybe find out what the business could have done better and, route it to a human to take over that conversation.
Okay. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kelsey, we'll be using this. We'll be using this for we'll plug it into our ads. So when we're running ads for um signups to Review Harvest, we will use this, not necessarily this exact workflow, but we'll use this. Well, I guess technically we probably could, because just the front end was the only thing we customized, really, that first message and stuff. So but yeah, we'll once we get a lead, direct them here and qualify them, because right now Carly, my wife, spends a decent amount of time following up with leads and stuff like that. And guys, I've tried all the AI booking tools or whatever. If you name it out there in the high level community, I've tried it. And CloseBot was by far the one that I've had the most success with so far. Because
Well,
I
thank
was
you.
I was on the old platform, version 1, I guess. That's when I was using it, but I got the account transferred over now, so excited to get it rock and rolling.
Yeah. Someone asked about resources. Really good question. Wanted to call out. We have this area down here. We have some help docs here. We have about 70 help docs. Most of them have videos too. They're all short, written by me. We have over 10 hours of office hours a week too. So live small group office hours. And then we have chat support, 24/7 live human chat support for paid accounts.
Perfect. Brett, what's up?
Hey guys, thanks. Thanks for running us through this, Bryce. Quick question here. So I'm guessing the majority of people on this call are doing review reactivation. So you go to a local business, you say, hey, do you have a list of 2,000 previous customers that have already been customers? You've got 12 reviews on Google in your business profile, and we'll send out text messages and get a whole bunch of reviews. Okay, awesome. Do you have a workflow in this that you've built with Clay to reach out to those business owners? So I scrape a list of, I don't know, we'll stick with your example. I scrape a list of roofers in Australia, as you can tell by the accent. And then I say, hey, I've got 4 or 5 different variations of the text message or Facebook DM or whatever it is. And hey, are you interested in getting more reviews? You've got 12 reviews. You've probably been in business 20 years. You've probably got 2,000 customers. Would you be interested in the service? Basically, Clay's offering. Is that built into this? I know you've done the database reactivation. That seems like step 2. It's like you get the customer, you get the roofer, you get him 50, 100, 150 reviews. He's happy. And you go, what else do you do? Because they always say that. And that's when this database reactivation, hey, have you got a whole bunch of old leads? We obviously went through your customers. We got a bunch of reviews. Now let's go through your old leads, see if we can get you a bunch of work as well. So I get the second step here. Is the first one built, or is that something that you could add to this little
Not
package
built,
that you're putting together?
could easily be built.
Mhm.
All you would want to do is probably have this first
Is it
step.
a different persona? Like you do need a different
No,
avatar or
think
whatever?
of that persona as the type of person you want to do the job. Like I would have the same type of person do both of these jobs. Most people only have one persona in their
Yeah,
account.
that makes sense.
And then for
Gotcha.
that type of job, you would want to see if you have the right person, maybe or maybe not, whether or not they were happy with the job that this company did for them. If not, so if not happy, direct to add the human tag, and then probably a question of, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Maybe determine why. We have an objective to determine why the job was not satisfactory. Again, link that to a field so you can collect that information. And then when a human steps in, because you will have added that tag, human needed, they can see that field and then they can give the person a call or whatever and then stop responding in there. If they are interested or if they did have a good time, then route them to the link or route them through Review Harvest.
Yeah, and Brett, the Balin in the community, he's in here. He's I think he's like traveling the world right now or
Oh,
something,
you
so he's
guys
been a little
have
bit inactive.
Ballet?
Yeah, he hooked me
Yeah,
up with
Ball.
this a little while ago, but I'm just curious what you're using it for, Clay, because we've obviously got the DBR stuff makes perfect sense, and there's big
Yeah,
dollars in that. I get that. Obviously,
yeah.
most of the people here are trying to follow your process and just
hmm
get local businesses and get them reviews. And your system, I don't feel like I need CloseBot to do the review side of things, but certainly the reactivation and the
Yeah,
getting the customer in the first place. The bit in the
yeah,
middle is fine. It's the
yeah.
two ends, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, I think Rollins shared how he uses CloseBot for outreach to then sell people on review services. So I can try and find that or get Ballin to share it or whatever. Is it Balin Ballin? I don't know. I probably said his name wrong, but
I was
he
calling
was
him Bolin,
using
so I have no idea either. But yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna butcher it too.
he was using my CRM sim and he was using
Yeah,
CloseBot
CloseBot.
to
Yeah,
do cold outreach and get people to sign up for so we get them reviews.
yeah,
And so yeah, that workflow I think will be a little bit different, but it's the same process. You're basically just trying to figure out whether people are interested. You know, you're changing that initial message because it sounds a little different, but you're just trying to figure out whether people are interested and get them on a call. And so same process, just probably tweaking some things.
yeah. So just a quick follow up on that. Obviously, there's a lot of people going into America. I don't have this issue, but you guys do.
Yeah.
Sending out a bunch of text messages to randoms is a great way to get yourself a lawsuit.
Yeah, right.
Is there a way to use this through Instagram DMs or Facebook or whatever or WhatsApp that is less
Yeah. Yeah,
heavily
Brett,
regulated, so to speak?
I was using it. Well, yeah, I don't know what Ballin does because he doesn't. I guess he just his risk tolerance is higher than mine because I don't do it for cold SMS stuff. We use this for lead follow up, and when you the cool thing is like if you do instant forms or if you do lead forms in Facebook, you can send them a Facebook message or whatever as well, and then CloseBot can take it from there as well. So cold outreach through Instagram DMs and Facebook DMs, there are tools for that. I don't know if that would be I don't know how that would be the strat. We're using this mainly for lead follow up and qualification to
Yeah,
get
so
in.
it's straight out of ads. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And the only other question is the voice component. Is this purely text? Is there
Purely text.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah, we're pretty focused on that because it just works so much better we've seen than voice. You know, I know
Yeah, that's cool.
most people don't want to go on voice. Here, this shows our follow-ups too. I didn't show this, but obviously important. You can do follow-ups within here. Smart follow-ups to have it detect needing to follow up at a certain time. Like if they say, I'm on vacation this week, man, let's talk later. It would follow up in a week.
That's clutch. That's awesome. I don't know. Bryce probably has other things to do, but we'll go ahead and hit Ben real quick. Ben, what's up?
Yeah, so my question is, when someone responds positively to your high level message, what would you say is the rate of closing that CloseBot has to a positive response? Let's just say for a roofer, for example. So if you say, hey, are you still open to getting your roof replaced? Is it almost like an 80% chance that they get there, or what would you say?
I hate the it depends answer, but it really
It's the truth.
depends. Some people want a super qualified lead, so they're getting their credit score, first, last name, email, their spouse's name, whether or not they're the sole decision maker. And then some people don't care about any of that stuff. And if they're positively interested, they just route them straight to an appointment. So it just depends on how qualified you want them and the niche.
Yeah. Ben,
And
it's just
then,
like it's just like
yeah.
reviews when like people ask for what's my review conversion rate going to be? It's like, well, how good are you at what you do? Like, are you a good company?
Yeah.
Do people know of you? Like, there's so many factors that go into it. Like one that I always go back to is like my businesses that we work with in the South, in the middle of like podunk towns with 30,000 people in it, where they sponsor the football team and they're at all the little league games and all that stuff, they crush it with review activation because their kids go to school with them. They crush it for all that sort of stuff because they got an engaged list, whatever. You go work with a moving company in the middle of New York, and that's some of the worst review conversion rates I've ever seen. They've got thousands and thousands of people they worked with, but they don't know them from anybody else, never talk about them again. And so there's so many variables there. So it really, really depends. And that really is the truthful answer. But yeah. Yeah.
I
I get
see.
that. And then, oh, wait, can I get one more question in?
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
and I was curious. So a lot of our customers are using CRMs like Jobber and House Call Pro, and the leads are kind of just thrown in there, and they're either customers or leads, but there's not really differentiation in the CRM. How can you kind of, because I want to also request reviews, but at the same time, I want to do this as well. Would you say doing a database reactivation first is more valuable because it's the first thing that they'll see and it'll be less opt-outs and then go to a review? Or because if we're all reaching out
Clay,
to
you
just
probably know better than me on that.
Yeah, I think what in my experience, the database, like, people got to make payroll. You got to do the database reactivation. Like the reviews aren't going to make them make payroll, and it's all based off expectations as well. Like you charge differently for reviews versus what you do for database reactivation. I think the two go hand in hand. I don't think the order matters too much. I think a lot of it depends on your marketing. Like if reviews are in your name, then it probably makes sense to market reviews as your foot in the door. Also, there's a little bit less friction in that because you don't have to worry about an offer or bookings and stuff like that. And then once you've gotten their trust, once you've gotten them reviews, you're like, oh wow, this Ben guy actually, this is, I normally don't sign up for stuff that works, but this thing actually worked. Once you've got that trust, now you can be like, hey, we got you on $200 a month for reviews, and you want to make some more money as well. You charge them higher ticket for that database reactivation. And in terms of separating out the leads and the customers, that is a tricky part. I mean, it's just like the CRM integration component for the review stuff. It's really tricky, but if you can figure that out, I mean, a lot of times it's some sort of payment trigger, some sort of invoice paid trigger or something. If you can figure out that component, you can have both of these going at the same time. You see a lead comes into customer factor or comes into Jobber or comes into House Call Pro that doesn't get an invoice paid in 2 months. Now they automatically go in your database reactivation sequence. But if they do pay, now you're getting them reviews. And so you're constantly reactivating all their old leads, but you're also getting them reviews. So you have kind of two double-edged sword there.
Yeah, I think that's actually a super smart way of running it. I was actually texting one of my clients on this call, and I was like, so how long would you say it would be until a lead is considered dead if you haven't invoiced them? He's like, probably around a month. So if we could build an automation out like that, that would be super cool.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. I want to say too, I've seen a couple people have issues with that agent share link that already have CloseBot accounts. I'm going to connect with the dev team right after this and make sure we get that fixed. So if you don't have a paid account, you can't get to human chat support. The AI support's not going to be able to help you with that link, but just try the link tomorrow and it'll get you hooked up with that.
Perfect. Cool. Bryce, do you have to run? You just let us know when you need to run. You're leading the show here.
I have some time. This is my last thing today, so.
All right, let's hit up Jackie and then we'll close it out. Jackie, what's up?
Hey man, first of all, I just want to say, Bryce, thanks for doing this. You guys all geek out on this tech stuff, and to be honest with you, it's my least good part. Like I'm the sales guy. Like I'll be on sales calls all day. That's my stuff.
He's probably wealthier than most of us then.
I've done well. So anyway, but this is all brand new, so the tech stuff takes me way too long. Just curious. First of all, thank you so much for your time. This makes it way simpler. I glanced at CloseBot before, and then it just glossed over. Also, just to tell you, I didn't have an account. I had seen some video somewhere, but when I went to click on that link, that share link, I had to refresh the browser twice for it to take. Just so you know, some sort of glitch there, whatever.
But it worked. It worked when you refreshed the screen a couple times.
Yeah, it did work. I simply just waited and refreshed. It showed something could not be found.
Info.
Yeah, and then when I refreshed,
it went to the dev team too.
And I did not have an account previously. But I want to thank you for your time, and I appreciate this mostly because of one of you said this earlier. If anyone is sitting on the fence, like I know a lot of people like get excited about this stuff, then they don't ever like start working, and I'm certain Clay runs into that a lot, with people in the community. I just want to tell you all, like, for me, the craziest thing was to actually see the reviews start working, and they're still working with my very first client, but that client just like lost their mind. Like, I mean, in a good way. Like, they're like, they literally are like, what else can you do for us? Do you sell something else? Can we buy something else from you? Can I give you referrals? Like, I mean, it was just wild. In all of my years of doing anything sales related, I have never had someone come back asking, A, can we buy more from you? And can we pay for this annually? And by the way, is like, are you okay if I send you referrals? And I didn't have much else to sell them yet. So I appreciate this because this is a great feature. So anyone sitting
Thank
on the
you,
fence,
man.
just
Thank
get
you.
started. Just get started. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Clay. Thanks, Bryce.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad we let Jackie close us out there.
Yeah,
Appreciate
that
the
was
hype
great.
there. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for hopping on. Everybody's stoked to be here. We had great turnout. We had mostly almost
That's
70 people
huge.
for most of the thing, and I'm sure
Again, keep
hopefully
that link. And I'm so sorry that didn't work for most of you guys. Keep that link. The dev team, sit next to one of them. We're going to get this resolved. So keep it, keep copy and paste it somewhere. Keep trying it.
all good. I'll post it in the community as well, and it'll be shared
Okay,
with the
good,
recording. So
good.
all good there. No worries at all. But yeah, Bryce, we do appreciate your time. And yeah, if y'all haven't, y'all want to sign up to the CloseBot, I pasted that link in there as well. If you haven't created an account at all, and they'll figure out that share link thing. And yeah, this went so well. We might have to have you on again sometime.
I would love that. Yeah. And likewise, I'm going to have you come into our community too.
Sweet, sweet, good stuff. Well, everybody, thanks for hopping on. This recording will be posted sometime later this week, and yeah, y'all have a great Wednesday.
Thanks, Clay. Thanks, guys.
See y'all.